Music. Cue the music. Cue that beautiful award-winning music. It's gonna be award-winning. I can guarantee that. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week. What?
It's probably already won one.
Yeah, it probably has, actually. I have a lot of neat tidbits about this anime. It's gonna be fun to talk about. I hope you guys are excited. Also, I didn't change the size of that text. I need to fix that. Everyone, welcome to this week's Anime Analytics. Today we're going to be talking about Violet Evergarden, so I hope you guys have seen it because this is not an anime you would want spoiled for you. So, before we get started, we're going to go ahead and do some introductions. Sorry, just getting this thing all set out, and I think it was 400 by 1,000? I think that might have been what it was.
Fix all of things.
There we go. Fantastic. Alright, I'm your host, Diggy Stock, president of Otaku Anonymous, and your host for today's episode. Sunny?
I'm Sunny, and I normally go after Larry, but Larry is doing Larry things.
I'm Larry, and I'm still getting ready because I just got home.
Gotta rush in.
Still adjusting that chat. There we go. Perfect. Alright, just in case, Mark is Mark, and Z is Z, and Concave's Concave, JD is JD, Echo is Echo, Silver is Silver, and Black Magician is Black Magician. He's not the Black Magician, he's the Dark Magician. Sunny, how could you get that mixed up?
I don't know.
How could you? Oh, can't believe it. You should drink some coffee, you're tired. Starting today's episode. So today's episode we're going to talk about oh my god, words. We're talking about Violet Evergarden. It's an anime about a woman she's a war veteran. She comes back from war, and they kind of set her up in a program where she's able to kind of work for, I guess, just for her living and trying to understand the world as it is after the war, because she is kind of brainwashed in a sense to only live for fighting. So she's trying to cope with not only the loss of her hands, but also the loss of some of her friends that she had in war, or during the war of this. It's not even set in a period of time in our world. It's kind of like in its own world with, well, what would you say it is, Sunny? Like the world building they have for this.
There are a few unique things. I mean, there's like mid-level gunpowder things. It's not like muskets, but it's not, modern rifles. They have the very adamantite or whatever, very, very tough metal. That was the one thing, is she's got the arms, and somehow she can control them. That seems very advanced, and nothing else seems as advanced. So it's really hard to get a pin on exactly what era this is supposed to be. But I would say, like, around World War I equivalent for our world.
Yeah, I would say so too. Echo said steampunk setting, sort of. But I wouldn't say it's steampunk necessarily, because that would mean there would be a whole bunch of tubes.
It's got that aesthetic.
Yeah, but it's definitely more
halfway.
It's definitely more like World War I-ish instead, I think. But with that robot arm aspect that's kind of highly advanced. So, Violet, our main character, Violet Evergarden, to which the anime is named after, is about it's Violet getting a job at being a writer. She's not just a writer, she writes letters in particular to people who don't have the technology or the proper words that they want to convey to the people they're writing the letters to. And through each episode, we kind of find out more. Well, Violet learns what it's like to be a regular person, I suppose. And
essentially, the show is just Violet adapting to life without war.
I really want to talk more about what it's about, but I know I'm going to spoil something along the way, so I want to go ahead and get the synopsis out. I'm so sorry. My brain is totally fried right now. Do you want to go ahead and go without go into spoiler territory now, Sunny? Because I think we just got
generally got the
synopsis
synopsis covered, yeah.
Yeah, I say so. Okay, guys, we're gonna. This is a spoiler alert. I'm doing my best today. Holy shit, I'm trying my hardest. I really am. I'm sorry, I went on a photo shoot today. I'm so fucking tired. Okay. Whew. So, now we're gonna put up a spoiler alert warning. Anything after this point will, I recommend watching this before listening to discussion. Don't listen to discussion. You have to watch this. This is an anime that is, I'm gonna spoil it for you right now. It's a complete 10 out of 10. You need to watch this anime. Alright. Before we get into that, we're going to talk about our sponsors for today's episode, which is Epic Cosplay Wigs, Weeb Apparel, and Hobbyholics.com. If you guys like anime stuff and you want to put it on your body, wear it on your head, or even build it, you can find any one of our sponsors down the link in the description below. And if you want to help support the show directly, you can get one of our shirts, Otaku Anonymous Save State, and that will also be in the link in the description below. Imagine this, but on your body. Alright, let's get right back into the show. So, pretty early on, in Violet Evergarden, okay, now, spoiler warning,
yeah,
pretty early
spoilers.
on, we find out that, Violet is, first episode, we find out that Violet is, looking for one of her, I'm guessing, I wouldn't say lover necessarily, but she's looking for someone that's very important. Yeah,
Superior
it's like a general.
officer, the major.
She is looking for him, but it's kind of highly hinted that he is deceased. And before he died, he told Violet that he loved her. And throughout the series, through every episode, we get different examples of people falling in love or just expressing love in their own way. And Violet is slowly starting. Her whole focus is trying to learn what that phrase meant. And it hits pretty hard. It's one of those things that they're like a slow boil. You right from the beginning, you know exactly how it's gonna end, and you know it's gonna hurt later, but you keep watching it. You know what I mean? It's like knowing that staple is gonna hurt you in the hand, but you really want to staple a staple into your fucking hand. It's kind of like that. I don't know why you would want to. Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to do that, but it's kind of like that. You know it's gonna hurt. Why do it? Because staples are cool.
I didn't necessarily expect it to go at the pace that it did, but I don't think it. I think it's what they were going for, very obviously, but I think it worked out.
Yeah, it's
really. It's not a. I mean, there
Mhm.
are some action sequences, but it's slow, and it's for the theme that it's going for. Slow is good.
See,
It's
Markson was
her.
a perfect analogy.
It's her trying to adapt to life without violence, life without orders from a superior officer, which is pretty much all that she had known her whole life. So when the war's over, because of her efforts and the consequence of the major dying in the last battle, she's lost, essentially. And she's hanging on the last words that he said, trying to figure out what they meant, because she has no context of what those words mean.
Also, I understand, I think my only kind of irk with this anime is that I understand that she was taken at a very young age to be a soldier in a war that they actually thought it would never end. But I don't understand how she was like very kundere the whole time, like if she was never born with emotion, but I'm like, you're human though. And I guess
I
it's
actually
pretty
thought
cool.
she was a robot.
I thought she was a
When I first
robot
started
at some
it.
point.
I just thought she was like, it was a lot better tech than I first, just before I went into it at all. I thought she was flat out a robot, because, you see the art, you see her hands. I just thought she was completely robotic.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that she was orphaned and trained to be a weapon, and all of the things that are revealed in the show.
Mm. Yeah, Larry? Oh, Larry, first you want to introduce yourself?
Like Full Metal Alchemist. I already did. I said, "Hey, I'm Larry.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
doing
sorry.
getting ready."
You right, you right, you right.
I thought it was like Full Metal Alchemist. She ain't got no hands. She's a writer. Ah, that's all I saw from the preview.
Did the anime ever show? They definitely said, but I forgot what it was. But they never really showed during flashbacks how she lost her hands, right?
Wait, no, they showed.
I don't remember.
One of them got shot off. One of them got blown off when she was trying to take the major.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, okay. And then she used her teeth to drag him. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. She didn't get very far.
Larry, will you read chat for me?
At what number?
After the whole Staples comment. Because that's when it's kind of irrelevant.
I stapled my friend's hand.
No, after the staple
I put a staple
comment.
sticker on my trombone and told my director that I bought my trombone from Staples. He almost flipped out on me. Why is it when I type some words they line up? The action sequence felt more to show what she was made to be rather than just something to splurge budget on for visual sake. Hey bro, but what? Zelda? And then Mark name's so dark. Yeah, I agree with that as well. The action sequences were kind of there to show that what she was capable of as a contrast as to what she learned through the anime. They do show it. Zamova says, where did she come from? How did Gil's brother obtain her? Is slave trade a thing in this universe? We never really find these out. Her brother is just like, here's this weapon, nothing else.
She was an orphan, and they took her and trained her.
They showed exactly how she lost her arm. I love that scene. Just to show how much she cared for the Major, even though she had no idea what these emotions she was feeling was. She was willing to do everything for the Major.
Okay, so spicy question: do you guys think Gilbert is dead?
Nah.
Yeah.
If they don't show a body, he's not dead. Because
following the theme of the show, he's got to be
probably
dead.
canon that he's dead, but they're gonna be like, you know what? People want more Evergarden. Let's just bring him back because we never confirmed he was dead. That's what's gonna happen.
I think people would be pissed off.
I think there'll be a half and half.
After that last episode, it definitely made it seem like she was kind of coping with the fact that he was dead. Like she was actually able to let go. But
it would cheapen everything that happened.
I agree. But in the preview, there was this thing someone pointed out that in the preview for the anime, they show Gilbert, but he has something wrapped around his head where he was shot. Because, you know, how he was shot, like, side of the head where his eye area is. They showed Gilbert with bandages wrapped around his head. They also showed scenes that are supposed to be in next season, apparently. Like her spinning around with the dress in the preview. So I don't know what that's about, but I kind of hope Gilbert's dead because I want her to be able to move on from the past, and he's just a representation of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He kind of needs to stay dead. I don't believe the Major is
spit out my coffee.
Inflicting on this because it defeats the purpose of Violet's Grove. But I really want her to be happy, and the ending implies that she knew who that was. I feel like if they showed a body of it, it would be too much for the show, given he was shot up and blown up and crushed. I mean, you literally saw her arm fell off, Echo. I don't know, like a dead body ain't that big of a deal.
This show was
show a body, so at the very end of the series, Violet opens the door and she does her introduction, but she pauses at one point where she stares into the door, so I wonder if it was Gilbert or maybe not. Only time, and perhaps that oncoming OVA will let us know. Too bad, Concave. Got him.
So, I actually have a pretty nifty information about this show that I found out, that I read earlier today while I was waiting for it to get picked up. So this show is actually a light novel, but not just a light novel. It was submitted to Kyoto Animation Studios because every single year Kyoto Animation Studios makes this big event where they'll let smaller writers who want to make their work into actual productions submit their work to them, and if they like it enough, they'll make something out of it. So this is, for example, it would be like Free or Beyond the Boundary that won this contest in the past. Violet Evergarden is this just the same. It won top prize, I believe. Like it was like pushed all the way to the top. Like it was not even a competition apparently. And they use all their funding for the entire year to produce this show and every bit of the products that came out with it. I thought that was pretty cool. And second volume is going to come out. Second volume of the light novel is going to come out pretty soon, from what I heard. So there is more, and they're also making second season and a movie, which are supposed to come out 2019, I suppose. Yeah, that's pretty nifty, huh?
That is a very nifty and spicy thing.
Yeah. Thanks, Larry.
Why is that spicy? Why is everything spicy?
Not. Do you want it to be sweet? Oh, you know what? That is sweet. Sweet! If I was, never mind. I don't want to use words right now. Someone else say something.
We're all so tired. Sunny, you should be the tired one.
Come on, Sunny. I believe in you.
You want me to be tired?
Sunny. 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 Come on, chat! Give him your power! Sunny. Sunny.
I'm confused.
I had a very big day today. And now I really want to talk about Violet Evergarden, but my brain feels dead and I feel like I forgot half this fucking episodes. What was your guys' favorite episode? Like, what was your favorite
scenario? My favorite one, my favorite scene, I think, because, this whole thing is all about, like, it's fucking gorgeous, right? So what's the most gorgeous scene? When she fucking jumped with the umbrella across the water. Period.
Oh, yeah, but was that your favorite scene?
Probably the best. Like, the action scene, whoa, she could fight, whoa, but, like, I really, really liked it. Yeah,
the action scenes were, I mean, they were okay, but they weren't
great. They were great.
A highlight of the show, because that's not really what the show is about. The show is about more her and going from, independent or a dependent killing machine to independent thinking human.
I think my favorite episode was at first I felt a little bit weirded out. The episode with the princess, the princess lady, and little girl actually, and she has to marry the man, and she's actually in love with him, but she doesn't really know if he feels the same way because she is younger. And at first I was like, oh, this is weird, but I don't know. I really liked that episode. I thought it was sweet. And not only that, she was actually able to help her. I like, even though she doesn't have much emotions and everyone else does, she still is able to help them out in some way. Also, that very last scene where she's writing the letter to Gilbert and she starts crying. Did that make anyone else ugly cry? Because that made me go like, oh no, I knew this was coming. And just start fucking bawling. Did anyone else get that?
Like straight out crying, or just like a few tears? Because I mean, I was
did that
sad.
Ugly cry.
I was sad for like 4 or 5 different spots in the show, but I wouldn't say that I was just out crying.
I was out crying. I was doing that obnoxious one. It was very sad. I don't know what it did. It was.
And there are a lot of emotional moments.
I didn't cry, you fucking pussies. But it was good.
I don't know. Like, am I wrong, chat? That final scene where she's actually kind of admitting to it, and she's just like she doesn't want. She's still in denial, but she is also accepting at the same time, and all of the feelings that from everyone that just all comes together, and she finally understands what he meant when he said "I loved you" to her. It just hit me, and I was like, "Oh my god." It's so nice. Like, this show is actually fucking incredible. Also, the animation director to this show is the same one from Hyoka, and the music director, because all of it came together so perfectly in that single scene, because they used the perfect music, the perfect animation the whole way through. But that scene was really powerful. I forgot who the music director was. Oh,
Has anyone seen Hyoka? Has anyone seen Hyoka? That's the big question.
Hyoka's amazing. It's also made by Kyoto Animation Studios. It's really good. It's actually, like, as soon as I heard that it was the same animation director. I was like, of course, they look exactly the same. Like the way it flows. You know what I mean, Larry? Thanks, Larry.
Sorry, I'm just...
Go ahead and read chat.
Where do I start?
Right where you left off.
Wow, there's a lot that happened. You don't see a bloody stump though. You see her arm fell off inside the sleeve. That's true. Also, my dead body. Hold on.
It's still very graphic.
Sneeze.
Don't hold in your nose.
In the scenes that are violent, it does get rather graphic. I mean, you do, as much as it's not literally just her arm that's just cut off, you see it just slip out, and it is very real.
Well
it
done.
Is in your face about. I mean, it is well done, but it's Kyoto Animation. It's going to be well done regardless. It's very in your face. They don't try to hide the fact that it is war, and war is hell, and this is what she went through, and this is what she's trying to cope with. They make the metaphor of the burning marks that she metaphorically has, which she probably had some too. The metaphorical burn marks that are on her in regards to what she's seen and what she's done, and how she has to cope with them and heal.
What's it called? And then, let's see. Zelda says this must be a really deep anime. Mark says I cried a lot. Concave. It's okay. It was very deep.
There are a lot of very deep themes.
What? What does it say?
Almost every episode, I could say.
I can't read that word. Wasn't this anime delayed like 2 years ago too? Yeah, they announced it and it took a while. The same concave. It was supposed to be a movie, or we thought it was, but it's actually a series. But they are making a movie soon.
But with the movie, they put it towards a silent voice, wasn't it? That was the movie they actually put the money towards.
Yeah, but this one was like planned to be a movie. But now they're just making a movie. Didn't watch the anime or anything. Sunny, eat my energy. I don't know this was. I didn't even know this was the anime. Mine was the letters to the daughter of her dead mom.
That was really sad.
Every year, yeah. Sunny, I have no energy, so good luck with that. My favorite scenario had to be the one with mom and daughter. I kind of had a feeling that the letters were meant for her daughter, and the way they revealed the end was so beautiful. Independent, loving machine. Seeing her daughter cry made me know that the mom wasn't going to be around. Really hit me with the feels, especially since she was so young. Oh god, I just remembered Angel Beats Gilbert Godfrey. I thought about that too. Every time I cry, it's an ugly cry. So many parts in this make me cry. Everyone's talking about crying.
I'm happy that I got through this series without making a link between Gilbert and Gilbert Godfrey.
That would have killed it.
I cried for myself this one anime, JoJo Bizarre Adventure. I cried for one anime, JoJo Bizarre Adventure. I need to cry more. You should force your emotions to not cry. Cry, you're fine. Totally don't cause problems down the line. Yeah, that's why Twitch. Yep. Well, thanks Twitch for posting that. So I have two favorite episodes. The episode where they play the writer. That was pretty good. Yeah, that was a really good episode. When she skipped across the lake, and the episode where she finally accepts her sins. That episode was super heartfelt with the father who recently lost her daughter, and Violet reminding her so much of the painful past. The shot of her jumping to the lake was really cool too, and I felt like the episode 9 could have been a decent all by itself. It shows everyone she's helpful. Violet has accepted who she is. It's beautiful. We got 4 more episodes. That's someone messaged me. And then vote for next anime. Gundam.
I thought for sure I wrote down Iron's Orphans Blooded. I was like, oh great. Fantastic.
I don't know if there's an anime called Iron's Blooded Orphans.
I hope you guys will vote for the correct one.
Don't tell them which one is the correct one.
No, I won't tell them. They know me well enough, they'll just know. Okay, so, any other thoughts that come after watching Violet Evergarden? I feel like, I feel like this is actually one of those things where words don't do it justice. Is really something that's more of an experience.
Yeah, you really just gotta watch this.
I really like the brother episode, like a lot. Like after he kind
The
of
drunk brother.
Yeah, I like that. I like that episode a lot. I don't know why. It was all so good. Like I can't find meaning in any of it other than that it's just all amazing on its own. Like it really is something you need to experience. And I will say that I did have one more irk with it. She was on the top of that train fighting in a dress, and I'm like, God, that's so anime.
That's so
I don't know.
anime.
I kind of feel like when I'm watching anime that's like really good, and I want to tell the people it's really good, but they go, oh, I don't know, is it too anime? I feel like that's the one scene that I'd be like, it's a bit, it's a bit too anime.
So you know what?
Let's not forget she's on her high heels too.
You know
She's
what
in
I
high
had a problem
heels.
with?
Yeah.
What I had a problem with was, hey, I'm gonna go to this random place out in the middle of nowhere, literally airdrop on top of the guy that you needed to meet. Oh.
Yeah,
that was so coincidental. It wasn't even like she's like, all right, I'm just gonna drop from here, and then happen to land there, and then, oh, you're just the guy. She's just like, are you the guy? And he's like, yeah, I'm the guy. No,
I'm the dude.
Yeah.
I think that should have been executed.
They were like, we took so long putting out the rest of the series, just accept this fast piece. Like, no, you don't get away with that.
And yet, I mean, that is so fast, but everything else in the series takes it slow, and it's done very, very slowly. And I think it, like I said before, I do think that it does well as a result of that. I think it's better slow paced, taking it. It's relaxed, but it's got its moments of tension, and I think that's supposed to mirror exactly what they would go through and exactly what someone going through that would go through. It's not something that all happens at once. It is a slow and steady trying to find the answer for yourself kind of thing.
This anime was
I
beautiful.
did feel that big sense of satisfaction as soon as she started crying, because I'm like, oh, thank God she's not a robot. Thank God. Like, because at first, like, for a really long time, I was like, is she even fucking human? Like, she cried a little bit in the beginning, but it wasn't enough to make me be like, she has, I don't know, she has, like, emotion. Like, for a while I was like, maybe she's just a sociopath, I don't know. Like, what if she's just fucking insane? But that ending, it was like, that was so much satisfaction coming from that single scene where she just breaks down.
Someone that grows up in those circumstances will generally find it a lot harder than she did to come to the point that they can, feel what other people are feeling and empathize and understand emotion. I don't know how long the series took. It's at least a year.
Yeah.
Over a year, but
yeah, about a year.
It would take a long time, and they would probably never really be the same. Early childhood, having that happen, going to war, killing people, never really having the chance to socialize will kind of just cause those problems.
She also did everything.
Even before getting into killing people and being trained to kill, just lack of social experience and not really getting anything from anyone other than counting it as orders. She would find it a lot harder.
She also did everything with like complete ease, which is another thing that I found.
She's a guy.
Like it's suspended the suspense of disbelief or whatever the term for it. It made me like she like everything she did,
perfect.
even the stuff that wasn't with fighting necessarily, or just the smaller things. She did everything so perfectly, and it's like, I get it when your life is like war and then you strive for perfection in a way because that's what you're trained to do. Doesn't make you a perfectionist at everything,
I see that kind of thing in shows and games as if they weren't like that, they wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be the main character. If she wasn't so good at everything, she would have died on the front lines, and she would have died really fast. She wouldn't be here to have the story told about her if she was not exceptional.
That just felt too
yeah.
too anime though. It was like
main
okay.
characters
yeah,
have
very
something
main
exceptional
character.
about them that is the reason the story is centered around them.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least they will one day, and then they come into the power, you know.
I kind of like characters with imperfections. It's just like for some parts she was just too perfect, and then in the end when she was
her
actually
imperfection was that she had no emotion and couldn't empathize with people.
in the end she actually did it though, and I'm like, oh, now you're really perfect. But I liked it though, like as much as I'm complaining about it, like yeah. Oh, Larry, can you go ahead and read chat?
Let's see. You guys are so talkative. I already voted for something, says Conke. I don't know, I just clicked on one that looks nice. What's the correct one? Fuck, Sonny. You said I was typing. What's the correct one?
I don't even know what the correct one is.
Dude, we all know it's gonna be Build Fighters. Is it though? Is it? Because I voted for Iron Blooded Orphans because I want to watch that. Yeah, I felt like I'm doing the injustice with my own words. It really is something you need to watch for yourself, not doing justice. Haha, Iron Blooded Orphans. Haha. Well, I'm not gonna watch it. Okay. Her dress was treated like a cape. Her dress was I fucking love her uniform. The moment where you mess up the word suckers, don't you become the sucker? How about this? You suck. Got him. Yay, emotes. Oops, says Zelda Go Games. I feel like they did
maybe just read the parts that just had something to do with Violet Evergarden.
It wasn't really meant for the action scene to be super strategic and accurate as it's alive. It was just a way to move the plot along. Even then, the action scenes were really well made. Yes, they were. Greetings from San Jose, says Tamo. It was more about the story and emotions rather than the action sequence. It felt very satisfying seeing Violet's growth throughout the anime.
Stop it!
And brings it up in episode 11. She's warm. She isn't a giant doll. She's the person. She's a person like me. Extreme paraphrasing. As someone who has their emotions, I think I ripped my pants.
Nice.
Nice. As someone who has their emotions stuff like that in their youth, you still feel the feeling that you don't lose when they are or how to express them.
Yes.
And then I don't think she was emotionless. I think she didn't really know how to express these emotions. I thought they would, until they made her act upon them. I think that's
Was
it
that
for
it? Oh, okay, cool.
Seaside voted for Iron too.
So,
yes.
On the subject of, what he said, what the Major said to her just before he died, which I do think he's dead. I saw that, at least probably pretty early, as a father-daughter kind of thing, not as a romantic love kind of thing, and I want to know what other people think about that.
Well, if you're looking into the definition of what Japanese say, because he said aishiteru, which just means I love you, but it doesn't necessarily mean romantic. If he was in love with her, he would have said daisuki. So I think it was a father-daughter thing too. Not only that, he was like way older than her. She was
yeah.
I agree with that.
I'm just making sure because that is everything that I got from that pointed to he cares about her like a daughter.
Yeah. I would agree.
Wants her to do good things, wants her to continue living even when the war is over, even if he's gone.
Yeah, because he loved her.
Also, as just a final thought from me, why the fuck did they design her to look just like Saber? Like it's fine. I like it either way. She's absolutely gorgeous. But just make one difference. Make her clothing red. I don't fucking know anything.
No, there's a red saber.
There's a red saber, son of a bitch. green's too ugly. We have to use a better color. But
That's
so much like Saber.
That's Nero. Okay, she's a different god.
I guess. Way too much like Saber. Also, any final
there's
thoughts?
Like 7 sabers.
7 sabers. 7 swords. Gundam! Any final thoughts, guys? Rather than going to final thoughts and closing. Final thoughts and ratings.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
I
Whatever
like
you
it.
want. Whoever wants to go first.
So, I mean, this is, Kyoto Animation. It's downright beautiful. The soundtrack is perfect to match. The character, the main character is the one that is mostly centered on, and the other characters don't really get anything. There are a lot of side characters. It's very episodic for half, and then it has a lot centering on Violet for the rest. The core story, as a result of some, sparing, episodic episodes just coming up every so often, feels, though it is kind of her and her trying to come to the realization that her father figure, mentor, whatever, major, whatever you want to call him, is gone, and she will not see him again.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very segmented, and I feel like that's the weakest part. Is I'm not sure if it's necessarily just the story. The characters done well, art done well, music done well. The story feels segmented, and I don't think it does it any favors.
So
The
overall
theme,
rating?
the themes that this tackles are very difficult to make a show around correctly. I feel like when you give something a 10, it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect in every way, shape, and form.
No, yeah.
And I was thinking earlier I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, but I will bump that up to a 10 out of 10 because this is a difficult subject to tackle with a story and get right and present correctly, and I think that they did exceptionally well in that regard. So 10 out of 10.
Larry?
I'll give this I had a lot of mixed feelings about this anime because it was, very episodic. I wasn't really sure how I felt about it when watching it. I guess I just didn't like how episodic it felt. But besides that, it was really good. I want to say 10 out of 10, but the episodicness, like my only problem was that how it was episodic. I felt like it shouldn't have been episodic, but like
it gains a lot of other things in exchange for losing
consistency.
Yeah, the consistency in the story, but it gains other things in other regards of the show overall for being episodic, because it does make it go at a more leisurely pace.
Yeah, like watching it if I can imagine it to be a more consistent anime, I don't think they could do it. They had to go episodic. That's what it felt like. So I guess this is probably, I would say 10 out of 10. Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10.
That didn't take very much. Alright, I guess it's my turn.
You already said what yours is.
I want to say more.
You already said your score.
Alright, talking about this anime doesn't do it any justice. It is a beautiful piece of art, and the thing is, the art only complements it. Like, if it was like shitty animation with this story still, it would still be a grounded 10 out of 10. The art is just the bonus, the music is the bonus. Granted, they help very much, but this is like one of those animes where every single character feels real, like they feel like a person. Like I'm completely convinced this is what a person would feel, this is what they would say, this is what they would do in these situations. And just as Sunny said, it is a very hard subject to tackle, and it's even hard to even imagine, but they do it very well, to the point where it definitely feels like Violet is a person. You're watching some kind of documentary of a fantasy life, which is odd to say in itself, but I would give this a straight 10 out of 10. It's absolutely perfect. There's a reason why it was overhyped, and there's a reason why it was hyped up so much, and it sustained that vote, and I totally think it's going to be best anime in 2018. I don't think anything is going to beat this, to be honest. It is such an amazing piece of work. It's not something you watch, it's something you experience, which is why I'm highly recommending it. Watch this anime. Do it. Experience her journey, because it doesn't do it any justice just talking about it. 10 out of 10. Larry, will you read
10 out of 10?
This anime is fucking awesome. I would give this anime a 10 out of 10. Absolutely loved it. All the episodes that hit me in the feels with some kind of way, which hasn't really happened before with an anime for me. Like, even with the side characters, it made me feel sad for them. All the characters are great to me, and I think this was the anime's best traits. I really love the story, too, and how it showed Violet's growth over time. Every time Violet said she wanted to know what I love you means, I got a little teary eye. I felt so satisfied for me seeing Violet become more and more human, and seeing her become at peace with herself felt so relieving to me. Also, this was probably one of the most gorgeous anime I've ever seen. It looked beautiful, and the music was great. I would definitely recommend this anime. It's amazing. Diggy says, vote, 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 and then... So when we go, the animation is so freaking gorgeous in this series. I couldn't stop gushing over it. Most of my watch through. It was wonderful to see the Violet go from a quota update, emotionless war tool, to her own person who doesn't need orders to survive. Absolutely adore all of the side characters as well, and the interaction with Violet. Shitty summary of my feelings aside, 10 out of 10.
Something that I read on a discussion topic on this show was a point made that even the characters that she essentially slaughtered were not just generic. They actually had some kind of feature about them, which made it all the more real. You know, the consequences of war, and the fact that if you kill someone on the enemy side, that is someone with a life, someone that probably has a family, someone that had friends that they wanted to go back home to. And that drives that point all the harder when they are not just generic characters that all look the same, but they're actually given at least a small amount of detail to make them seem unique and their own person.
Is that everything, Larry? Yeah, okay.
Yes, it is.
I believe that is everything. And time to reveal the winners for not next week, because next week is Frank and Fran for Manga Monthly. It's the week after that. The anime we will be watching next is, drumroll please,
I'm gonna wake somebody up if I do that.
Gundam Build Fighters. You guys are in for a fucking treat.
Fuck.
You guys are fucking in for a fucking treat. If you guys don't want to build Gundam after this, then alright.
I want to pick up ladies and build Gundams. You're right.
Like, Gundam Build Fighters is such a fucking treat. Like, if you wanted to get into the hobby, but you didn't know what Gundam to build, or like what the starting point of all of it is, that's the one to watch. It's literally about a boy who wants to enter these Gundam competitions. But the thing is, they're not just like building model kits like we do. They are... But you put them into a machine, and they just fucking fight. They're like little toys, and they're fighting each other. Kind of like, what was it? Gotcha? What was it called?
Harry Potter.
Yeah, Harry Potter. No,
Gotcha Force.
Gotcha Force. That's exactly what it's like. They build a robot, and they go and fight, and it's so cool. It actually is a pretty decent storyline.
Go get educated.
So it's first season of Gundam Build Fighters. I hope you guys will join us. What day is it? It would be April 27th.
No, that's April 27th is Build Fighters.
April 27th for Build Fighters. Next week is Frank and Fran chapters. I don't know the
1
chapters.
1 through 22.
1 through 22 of Frank and Fran. So if you guys want to be there and help us discuss this manga monthly,
be there
please
or
join
be
us.
square. But it's not Friday. It's gonna be on Saturday.
Oh, we're changing. Oh,
What?
that's right. You have a thing to do.
I told you like three
Yeah.
times.
Then I need to change it, don't I?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, please. Okay,
It's the Friday.
So Frank and Fran is not going to be next Friday. It's going to be next Saturday, April the 21st, 2018. So please join us for that. We're going to be reading chapters 1 through 22. And the week after Gundam Build Fighters, the first season. I mean, feel free to watch Gundam Build Fighters Try, which I think it's the better one out of the two. But I mean, like, watch them both if you want to get into the hobby, because they are pretty fantastic. And maybe if you get into the hobby and you can't wait for the discussion, but you want to know where you can buy your Gundams, you can go ahead and check out our sponsor, hobbyholics.com.
Or
Anyways,
you just,
Where's Tomo?
build them yourself. Got him.
you would have to buy them before building them yourself, Larry, at hobbyholics.com. Thank you, Danny. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed Violet Evergarden as much as we did. And if you're just watching to see if you want to watch it or not, absolutely do it. We gave it a 10 out of 10, which I want to say we don't do often, but we did it to like 4 things already. But those things were, I mean, we chose good animes for that week. Just to be fair, for those other weeks, like Your Name and Your Lie in April. Those are the other ones we gave complete perfect scores, right?
Yeah, most of the Kyoto stuff.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys want to find us anywhere else, you can find us down this link below. Or we stream every single night on Twitch TV. You can find each one of these amazing streamers on Twitch TV. And I'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
If you guys are watching the stream right now, we're going to have an after show. That's just for the YouTube portion. Alright guys, we'll be right back. Goodbye! Bye.